Welcome to the South Texas Amateur Tour Podcast, The Power Hour, with your hosts, Travis Salkowski, Dustin Hassan, Casey Graham, Jason Bird, and Michael Germanuelian. Good evening, South Texas Amateur Golf Tour. MD here. It is 7:01. It is Tuesday, April 16th. It is a pretty beautiful Tuesday. A little overcast, a little rainy, but that's good. That means there is time to be inside and for the tour to get some work done on all the stuff that you don't see on the back end and up front before tournaments. But welcome to the show. Excited to have everybody here. MD riding solo tonight. Travis is busy with work on the front end, getting tee times, pairings, emails, getting top tens, getting all the stuff done that needs to get done around the tour, and needing a little bit of a break. So I told him to take the night off. Quick, easy night tonight. We're going to recap Northern Hills. We're going to talk a little bit about the Sam Houston event, or the Fort Sam event, excuse me. The 9999 event coming up this weekend at Fort Sam, and talk about all the other open events here on tour right now. But before we do that, before we dive into everything, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our partners around the tour. First and foremost, I want to give a lot of love to our premier partners this year. That is the Cake Place and More. Laura Lewis, give her a call. If you did not get a chance to see some of the winter pictures, the Masters themed cookies this weekend were absolutely fantastic. She absolutely crushed it, as always. We had some people join the Cookie Mafia this weekend that had yet to join or had yet to find their first win of the season, and that is the sweet taste of victory provided by Laura Lewis and the Cake Place and More. Shout out to Global Fairway Logistics and Danny Puckett. Congratulations to Danny on his first win of the season. Danny, proud partner, does a lot of different stuff for us here around the tour. We love him. Shout out to Cairo Services Group LLC. That is for all your land improvement services needs. Give Micah Carroll a call. He will get you taken care of. And of course, Ben and Alex over at San Pedro Club Repair Studio. Tell you what, guys, you cannot go wrong going to see Ben and Alex. Whether it is ordering a new set of clubs, whether it's ordering some equipment, whether it's getting some club work done, whether it is looking at some of their used clubs, trading in clubs. You need grips, you need head covers. I mean, you just need a good time, someone to talk to and just chill out with. Ben and Alex had the opportunity to go see those guys a couple of times this week. Saturday, ended up walking out with a set of irons from Ben that, they did their job. And he did some work to my woods as well, doing some hot gluing, new shaft in the 7-wood. All things considered, the boys just knocked it out of the park. So shout out to those guys. And of course, our presenting sponsor of 2024, Shelby AC and Refrigeration. Don't get scared by that number. David Falconer, 361-386-2886. Don't get scared off by that Rockport number. That is a group of amazing people servicing all up and down 35, taking care of all of our tour golfers and more. Make sure to give them a call for all of your AC and refrigeration needs. It's heating up, guys. Starting to get hotter. The last thing you want to do is have your AC stop working. The last thing you want to do is come home to a nice cold house and then realize your refrigerator's not running. Those things kind of suck. And that is what David Falconer does. He and his team will make sure that you guys get all your preventative maintenance, replacement work, any repair needs that you need, getting you taken care of. Shout out to Shalaby AC and Refrigeration. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about Northern Hills. Northern Hills played probably the best shape it has been in years. Maybe the best conditions we've had to play golf in since like 2018. Like, it's been forever, but that course looked as pure as any golf course in the area. That course worth its weight in gold there as far as a round of golf goes. I mean, you can't get a better price, and for that level of golf, for that quality of golf course, absolutely fantastic. Greens were not terribly fast, but they rolled really, really well. Tee boxes were great. The fairways were nice and green. Bunkers were nicely sanded. I mean, the whole course, just immaculate condition. Really, really big shout out to all those guys there. The grounds crew team there, the staff at Northern Hills for getting us taken care of. We appreciate them, and of course appreciate our sponsors on the tour. Scotty Williams, my partner this weekend for the 9999. How you doing, buddy? Chris Espinoza. Shout out to our pro, Chris Espinoza. Gonna go say hi to him hopefully this week or next week at Ogren's place. But Northern Hills, guys, Northern Hills was great. Course conditions were fantastic. And I mean, scoring was tough. It always is. It always is. But scoring was tough. We had, we had a lot of high numbers out there, had a couple of low numbers out there. Each flight played really, really well. Super competitive. I mean, just a really, really fun time. Let's talk a little bit about those pin positions, though. For anyone who played this weekend, what did you think of those pin positions? If you're out there watching, if you played this weekend, let me know what your favorite pin was this weekend. The tour setup committee went a little bit different this time, a little change up. They threw some really interesting pins out there, a lot of pins that were tucked back, left or right, only a couple paces off the back. Made it for some really challenging and really fun approach shots. Also had a lot of pins that were really right up front and tucked in little corners, a couple of paces on the green. It definitely made for some challenging golf. But I also think at the same time, it also made the course feel a little bit easier to score, in my opinion, or at least be able to scramble. I think my favorite pin of the day, I don't know what my favorite pin of the day was. I would have to say, I mean, the pin on 2 was really good. I liked 2 tucked back. I liked 10. I liked 13. I liked 15. 16 was brutal, all the way in the back. I was surprised to see as many people bogey as they did on 18. 18 obviously plays incredibly hard. But even it playing up, I think from Champ Flight, it was playing maybe 190 yards, something like that, not terribly long. But the pin right up in the front. But still a lot of bogeys in there. It was interesting to watch as someone who was in the first group, watching the scores as they're coming in and just trying to track scores and see where everyone's at. And you get to 18, and 18 definitely had its way with some people. Same thing on 16. That pin was no joke. Comment, let me know what your favorite hole, what your favorite pin was of the day. Jeff Warren, anyone needs bogeys at Northern, he's our man. Uh, Jeff, best thing I can tell you is it's better to get them all out now before we get to the Masters. PC Masters is open for registration. If you have not registered yet, make sure you get on that. But that is going to be played at two separate golf courses. That is the first time in PC Masters history. We're going to have day one at Northern Hills, followed up by a classic Sunday at Brack, a weekend, a tournament unlike any other. And it is going to be absolutely fantastic. But Northern Hills giving us a really, really good preview of what's to come in the next couple of weeks as we roll through to the Masters. Northern Hills just absolutely always plays the hardest on the trail. And it did its thing this weekend, but we also saw a couple of red numbers. We only saw one red number in gross, but we did see, I think, maybe 10 numbers red on the net side, which means the numbers out there, I mean, it was certainly doable. It was scoreable to some extent, but that course continues to play as difficult as ever. Let's run through our winners this weekend. Bear with me. I am by myself tonight, so I'm going to do my best to make sure I get through this as smoothly as possible for you guys. So let's talk a little bit about Fourth Flight. We're going to start with Fourth Flight. Fourth Flight, not a bad day for Fourth Flight compared to the scoring out there. Three-way tie at the top in gross, but also a three-way tie there on the net side. So that being said, Mike Hudson, Sam Braswell, and Kevin Looney all fire a net 2 under 70. All of that being said, scorecard playoff ends up going to the one, the only Sam Braswell. Sam also shot 15 over. He was part of that three-way tie, again, with Mike Hudson and Kevin Looney. Sam Braswell shooting a 2 under 70. Mike Hudson coming in and shooting 15 over. Good for a first-place finish, winning in the scorecard playoff. So congrats to our Fourth Flighters on their great play. Moving on, looking at our friends over in Third Flight. Again, apologies, I'm going to be jumping a little bit back and forth here. In Third Flight, winning without any sort of issue here on, across the board. Tim Blunt. Nope, apologies, misread. There's a lot of winners. Winning on the net side, shooting a 15 over 87, but good enough for a net 3 under 69. Our winner in Third Flight on net, Danny Puckett, and Danny Puckett taking a picture the only way he knows how. Creatively and fun and exciting, far more exciting than the rest of us who stand there very professionally while we get our pictures taken. But Danny's a different breed, and Danny couldn't have been more jacked up to win. Shout out to Danny Puckett. Congrats on your win this weekend. Absolutely stellar playing. Again, tough to get red numbers at Northern Hills. Getting that done is really, really special. So congrats to him. Winning the Third Flight gross, shooting a 10 over 82 was Tim Blunt. We do not have a picture, but Tim is a Cookie Mafia winner. Congrats to Tim on his great play. That's a big weekend for him. Just barely edged out Bill Cohn and Ricky Ho, both coming in at 84. Tough grind down the stretch, but big shout out to Tim on his win. Really good weekend for him. Moving on to Second Flight. Some familiar names and some new names. So on the Second Flight net side, coming in first place, winning a scorecard playoff against Eugene Delahan, Willie Nichols, and Michael Berry. Michael Berry comes out on top with the win in the scorecard playoff, shooting a 1 over 73. Congrats to Mr. Bill Berry, William Berry. That's a really good win there. And winning on Second Flight gross, shooting a total 79, clear of his closest competitor by 4 strokes. One of my friends, one of my dear friends, and one of the nicest ambassadors on the planet, Micah Carroll. Game is finding some form. He's feeling good, recovering from a broken thumb and playing well. I've gotten to play with him a bunch over the last couple of weeks, and he is, man, he's getting into an element right now, and it's fun to watch. Micah Carroll shooting a plus 779. Really, really strong weekend for him. Struggled a little bit on the backside. Bad stretch there, but played the front nine pretty casually. Back nine had a little bit more trouble, but managed to pull it together and, of course, pull out that W. So congrats to my buddy boy and ambassador, Mr. Micah Carroll. Moving right along into first flight. First place, net, shooting a net 3 under 69, Justin Wilkes. Absolutely great playing. Tough competition out there. Justin, obviously shooting red numbers. I mean, he shot 7 over on the round. That's as a 10 handicap out there. So making a 3 under net 69 is pretty damn impressive. Jeff Wern right behind him there at 1 under. Ron Tash and Dan Burke at 1 under. All just a little bit shy of him. But congrats to Justin on his win. That's a big one. It's always a good feeling to get a win at Northern Hills. So congrats on joining the Cookie Mafia. And then finally in first flight, Gross started off the round. I think he got to, I'm going to look real quick here because he was playing, got low pretty quick. He made the turn and made it through 12 holes at 1 under. Ran into some problems on the back nine. It looks like 16 got the better of him, which, again, 16 pin was something pretty challenging. So Logan Armga coming in with a 76, playing really, really well. Obviously didn't finish how he hoped to finish, but of course, that's a great score, plus 476. That is a first place finish. Certainly helps in the point standings. Congrats to Logan for his great play. And finally, here we go. We are into Champ Flight. Champ Flight was pretty stacked. Definitely a tough bout. That being said, our winner, Champ Flight net, shooting a on the day gross 73, but good enough for a net 5 under 67. Yours truly, MD. Closely followed behind by Alex Artucci. Alex was coming down the stretch there, looking like he could do some damage and maybe squeeze out a tie, and we'd go into at least 4 extra holes of playoff holes on the scorecard to see where we get, but managed to hold on and managed to pull out a win, which is always nice. I do very much love these stroke play events. I mean, Chris, it's your words. It's not mine. I'm but a humble elite amateur golfer. If I really am gonna thank anybody, it is Ben Carricker. It is the repair studio at San Pedro for their amazing work in making sure I had the right equipment to get the job done. So shout out to those guys. But moving on away from congrats, you won net, MD. We're going to go into gross winner. Gross winner here. Every time this dude shows up, you know that you're in trouble. You know there's going to be it was still a very strong list of golfers. But when Seth Henry shows up to an event, exactly, Travis, I won net, which is it's like second place. I suck. But anyways, back to what I was saying about Seth Henry. Seth Henry, who does not suck. Seth Henry, who, casually hits the ball 350 yards. Happens to have, the best parents on the planet to come out and watch him, support him. The same Seth Henry who Started off his round, the par five, number one, with a double. That Seth Henry still coming in first, shooting 2 under 70. What the heck? Let's look at this scorecard because it's a fun scorecard. Number one makes a double. Number two comes back with a birdie, makes a quick bogey to follow on 3, and then just goes on just a stupid tear. Birdie on 5, birdie on 6, gets back to even. Starts off as back 9, birdie on 10, birdie on 11, birdie on 13. 16 got the better of him, made a bogey on 16. It is tough. Again, 16 ate up a lot of people. 16 may have played as the hardest hole in the course this weekend, but a little bogey there on 16, finishes up even par the last 2 holes, 2 under on the back, and that's all she wrote. That is a 2 under 70 for Seth Henry. What a freaking good round of golf. So proud of this dude. Just plays great golf, and that handicap's just getting lower and lower. So shout out to my boy Seth. Now, of course, everyone here is waiting to see, because Lord knows you're not here to see me. You're here to see the top 10. You want to see who's in the top 10. You want to see who fell out. You want to see who rose. It's fun to play two-person events, but there's never as much drama. There's never as much change in the leaderboard in the top 10. And if there's one thing I like, it's watching stroke play events. It's watching individuals go out and grind for great rounds of golf to win in tough conditions on tough golf courses against tough competition. Jeff, you definitely aren't. I casually dropped some money there on Saturday afternoon before I went to go play TPC, which I'll talk about that in a second. But there is a figure that you can spend, and it does work. But anyways, talking about the points list, nothing better than stroke play, point separations. We had a lot of people change. We had a lot of changes in the leaderboards. We had people fall out of the top 10. We had people in the top 3 fall out of the top 10. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy weekend of golf, and we get to see the results of it. So, excuse me, let's look at the new top 10 list, and let's see where everyone's stacking up. So, down 5 spots, Weston Irie, down 5. He moves into 10th place. Sean Vidal, he moves up 2 positions in a tie for 8th place with our friend Brad Gilbert, who is down 4 spots, tied for 8th as well. Tied for 6th, we have 2 people tied for 6th right now. That is Rudy Fuentes, up 5. And then there is Mike Dermanuelian, who is T6, up 13 spots, making the biggest jump out of the group into the top 10. Congratulations to him. I heard he had a great outfit, and obviously he played well. Staying at 5th, Dennis Danowski. Dennis, 660 points, 5th place right now, solo 5th place, but he's got people nipping at his heels. Followed up 5 spots in the point standings. In 4th place, William Nichols. Congrats to Willie, moving on up. And then, of course, first time ever in the top 3, that goes to Tim Smith, up 2 spots, moves into solo 3rd. Tim has been playing some really, really strong golf, consistently firing. It's one of those things. You look at the points, you look at how everyone's playing throughout the season, constantly finishing up in that 3rd, 2nd, 4th position. He's just grinding out and then picking up, 2 wins along the way, and boom, there you go. Staying in 2nd, Greg Graff. Greg Graff, 720 points in 2nd place, stays there. And then, of course, in number 1 spot, holding on to a lead barely. I know he did not have the weekend he wanted to, but keeping himself in position in first place. Andre Ramirez, that is your new top 10. Take a look, take note of this. Between first place and 10th place is 90-point difference. That's crazy. That's it. It's 90 points. We are moving into double points events. We have Almost Basin coming up in 2 weeks. We have 9 spots available left for that, so make sure to get to stxamtour.golf, get registered for that if you do not have your team signed up already. Me and my boy Brad Gilbert in 8th place are looking to run it back and see if we can't produce another win like we did at Willow. But make sure you get signed up for that. And then we're going to be at the first walking only event, which is a pretty cool event. And the return to Riverside. Riverside is going to be walking only, of course. Make sure if you are wanting to get signed up for that, that is open for registration as well. If you're concerned about walking, carrying a bag, I would definitely look at your local Dick's Sporting Goods. It is golf-a-thon. Lots of good deals right now going on for whatever you need, whether it's a push cart, a pull cart. You could go the route of going to the San Antonio Golfers page on Facebook. Find yourself a caddy. Brad Gilbert has entered the chat, as it were. He has entered the market for a new caddy. I've watched that comment section blow up. So possibly seeing Brad Gilbert with a caddy soon. But if you're interested in that, or if you need a cart, go to Dick's Sporting Goods, go to your Golf Galaxy, go to your PGA Superstore, go grab a cart. Make sure you get signed up for Riverside. Our return to Riverside is going to be fantastic. If you haven't gotten to play there, I highly recommend going and playing. Really, really cool green complexes. It's going to be a really fun, challenging event. And then, of course, we finish up the Masters. So we are getting closer and closer to the end of the line, guys. Lots of good golf, lots of stuff playing. Brad Gilbert coming in hot here. Surprisingly, I'm assuming there are a lot of people willing to caddy. Brad Gilbert's getting great recommendations from a former caddy and Andre. He's got a great track record on the golf course. People will want a caddy for someone who knows how to win, and Brad Gilbert sure as shit knows how to win. So shout out to my boy Brad. Excited to see who is good enough to get on your bag, and see if you can keep a caddy for more than a year before losing them to turning into a competitor. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about, guys? We have a really, really cool weekend coming up at Fort Sam, the first ever 9999. So we are playing a shamble, alt shot, best ball, and scramble. It's going to be 36 holes of just pure bliss. Travis out at that golf course today, kind of checking it out, compared it to some of the other courses that we've played recently. It's in pretty decent condition. That's going to be a really, really fun event. We're getting ready right now to release first notice to players. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully out tomorrow. A second notification coming probably towards Friday, but that is a Saturday event. If you are interested in playing, please make sure to shoot an email to info@stxamtour.golf. That is going to be a really fun event. 36 holes, one day. It is back-to-back 18s. It's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, shout out Travis Olkowski working on it at home right now. First notice for Fort Sam this evening. That being said, if you are interested in playing, please make sure info@stxamtour.golf. We still have a couple of spots left. We can make it work. We can get you on the list. If you don't have a partner yet, go find one. Shout out to my partner for the Greater Hill Country events, Scotty Williams. Looking forward to spending 36 holes with my buddy in a golf cart all day. It's going to be great. Super excited about that. Guys, make sure, if you haven't, head over to stxamtour.golf. Every single spring event is open for registration. Every event that we have left is open for registration. We have a couple of the Hill Country events open for registration. We've got a lot of golf to play. We are on week 2 of a 6-week stretch. So we have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of golf to play. And it's going to be followed up by a quick break, quick intermission after the Masters. We have of course, the big trip for for some of us, but this is the Tour Travels 2024 to French Lick, Indiana. We have the guests going there the week after we finish up the Masters. And of course, we come back from that trip and immediately jump into the summer season. So there is no stop, no halt in the rhythm. So lots going on, lots happening around the tour. We continue to have nothing but great golf, and it's just a really, really super exciting time. Let's again, real quick, I want to run through the top 10 list here. Again, in your top 10 right now, super, super cool. In 10th place, Weston Irie. Tied for 8th place right now, Sean Vidal and Bradley Gilbert. Tied for 6th place, Rudy Fuentes and Mike Dermanuelian. In 5th place, Dennis Danowski. 4th place, Willie Nichols. 3rd place, Tim Smith. 2nd place, Greg Graff. And 1st place, Andre Ramirez. A really tight race right now, guys. Not a lot of golf left to play. The big question is, who is going to hold on to it? Who is going to show up and produce some really good golf when they need to? I've said this time and time again. I enjoy a team event. I think team events are really fun. It's always kind of nice to have someone else on the cart with you who's cheering you on. Unless you're playing a stroke play event with Dustin Hassan, which in that case, if you're riding with him, you've got someone that you're competing against that honestly is probably wishing for you to play better than he is. Shout out to my boy DH. Couldn't have a better partner than that dude. But the golf really, really comes in. This is our last 2-person event at Almost next weekend. And of course, we're going to finish up individual stroke play events as we roll into Riverside and then into the Masters, day 1 Northern Hills, day 2 at BRAC. That's a really fun change up, something that's going to be, I think, adding an additional element of chaos, of extreme competition. Northern Hills, tough golf course. Grind out a good score on day 1 and hopefully go make a shit ton of birdies on day 2 at BRAC and try and get your score. So lots of golf to be played, guys. It's really, really exciting. The tour is as busy as ever, and we have 5 more weeks of golf before we get our next little bit of break. Guys, that's all I have for you tonight. We are going to be back in full force next week. Plan on Travis being here. Plan on seeing a couple of the other boys as we recap the Fort Sam event and look forward to the 2-person Almost event. Maybe a special guest or 2. Maybe a couple of boys from the repair studio might come to visit us. I can't promise that, but maybe you'll see them next week on the show. Maybe not. Definitely could be exciting, something fun to see. But guys, that is all I have for you tonight. Nothing but love and appreciation for all of our partners, for all of our tour players, our ambassadors. We could not get through a week of golf without you guys being there to support and help set up. Shout out to Sabrina Sakowski being at the events and really keeping Travis under control. And then, of course, shout out to our boy Travis. Travis is the man behind the curtain. He is the all-knowing wizard of Oz. He hides behind the curtain and he plays the game. Everything that we get to do, everything that we get to enjoy week in and week out on the tour is because of his dedication and his desire to produce the best golf humanly possible for the amateur golfers in the greater Southern Texas. Scotty, to be fair, he is in front of the curtain at the golf course. He is behind the curtain when he is setting up tournaments, when he's doing emails and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a little bit of both. All that being said, guys, have a really, really wonderful Tuesday. If you are playing at Fort Sam this weekend, we look forward to seeing you. Looking forward to a fun day of 36 holes of unique golf. It is the first time ever that we are hosting a tournament in this format. Of course, event number 2 in the Greater Hill Country Division. Make sure if you are not signed up for a Hill Country Division event yet, do it. This is another great opportunity for not only new golfers, but golfers on the trail division to get points, earn points in their own division on the Hill Country, and potentially be earning a spot into the South Texas Match Play Challenge, which, of course, is the thing that we are all grinding towards, everything that we are working towards all season, all year long, is to be on that team, get your name on the bag, and defend this team's title as we go up against Houston and their 20 players at Riverside this year as we're hosting. It's so cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk more about that as that gets closer. Same thing about French Lick and Tour Travels. We'll talk a little bit more and have a dedicated show to that. But that is all I got for you guys tonight. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Everyone, have a really good rest of your Tuesday night and enjoy the rest of your week. We will see you this weekend at Fort Sam. If we don't see you then, we will see you next Tuesday back here live on the Power Hour. Guys, thank you so much. Everyone, have a great rest of your night.